Hello, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlethems,
boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to another installment of Shooting the Shit
with Beefy
and Bobbie.
Today is a super duper special episode. Woo! Is this our biggest episode yet?
Yes.
This might be our biggest episode yet.
Breaking records for the amount of guests on one episode. Too many voices, so many voices. I can't wait for you to hear them all.
Yes, we have a very action-packed episode. This week was the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival, and me, Bobbie, and a bunch of other Dean people are here in Hyannis at the Hyannis Resort and Convention Center. And today we have, who do we have, Bobbie?
Starting with, let's start.
And let's allow them to introduce themselves.
Ladies, please.
Being very quiet, actually. I'm quite surprised.
Hi, my name is Gia Kesa, and I'm the social media manager for Shooting the Shit with Beefy and Bobbie.
She is.
I'm here because of the Irene Ryan Acting Scholarship.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Trish Dobson. I'm a sophomore dean, and I am an MTSA finalist.
Woohoo!
Hi, I'm Victoria Santiago. I'm a senior here at Dean, and I am an MTSA finalist as well.
Yeah.
And we also, all three of us were also in Emily Goyette's directing project.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Shout out Emily Goyette.
Shout out Emmy. I am Haley Lynn Sullivan, and I am a senior at Dean, and I am here I was an alternate for the Irene Ryan Scholarship. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Jude LeBlanc. I'm a senior at Dean. I was here for Emily Goyette's directing scene.
Yeah! What's going on, guys? My name is Noah Moulton. I'm a senior from Dean College, and I am here for the Irene Ryan Acting Scholarship.
Woo! And this is my favorite guest.
Drum roll.
My favorite guest thus far.
And my name is Jim Beauregard.
Yeah!
I am one of the professors at Dean College here, and I'm here having a blast with these wonderful, powerful artists who have been creating all week long and networking the shit out of their life.
I got 3 new connections today.
3 new connections today, beautiful. So we're all about. So, and I am honored to be here with you guys.
So this is a very big group we got here today. I'm very excited to chat with them all. And me, Robbie Seeley, Bobbie of Shooting the Shit. I'm here for the stage manager part of the competition, and so that was very fun. So where do we want to start?
Oh, yeah.
Why are you here? I am Beefy of Shooting the Shit with Beefy and Bobbie, and I am here for the Irene Ryan Acting Scholarship.
Yeah!
So I believe we should do the honor of having actually a veteran of the KCACTF board give us some insight about how he thought festival has gone this year.
Well, it's nice being live. I am nice to be out of the can, and I'll be honest with you. The last 2 years have been very tough to go from live, and this particular group has all spent time in the camera with all of us at some point in classes, and it sucks. We did move forward, but being here with live people is absolutely wonderful. I've had a chance to reconnect with a lot of old friends that I've worked with in the past. I've also made a lot of new friends, met a lot of new students from other schools, which are all going to be hopefully it's going to be work for all of us in the future. I've ran into people that I've choreographed in the past 6 months at different other schools. I've also run into a few professionals. I have done some networking not only for myself, but for my son. Has done a few of his plays. And I think it's actually a really cool spirit. The positives definitely outweigh the negatives. Even getting back on our feet again this year, I think they were a little wobbly, like a newborn horse. But it was really nice to be in the room with people. It was nice to see plays. It was nice to see different artists up on the stage doing stuff. It was nice to work with people I didn't know, which I absolutely love because I get to be a part of their world. And I was actually, again, for history, I was a former chair of Region 1. I spent 6 years on the executive board. Woo! But I'm really looking forward, and I do look forward. I'm already looking forward to next year, only because I know every year I learn something new, no matter what I do, and I'm still growing as an artist myself. So that's the kind of thing that I can't wait. I'm already looking forward next year. I'm really looking forward to getting back in rehearsal next week. Get back in class and beat some people up without hurting them, and just to be there, and then also see my wife. That's a good one. So, but that's sort of, it's been a good experience right now, and I did run into, I think the coolest thing, one of the coolest nights was just eating pizza. And of course, giving my artistic opinion on everything. Debriefing. My favorite part of if you go to the theater, my favorite part of any show is right after it. I love talking about it. What would I do? What did I like? What did I get out of it? What can I steal? Yeah, so that's, so I think overall it's been pretty good. And I really love watching you guys make connections. That's sort of a cool thing. And start to grow as an artist, because, when soon you're going to be out on your own. We are we always say it. College is just a springboard. That's all it is. It's not. It'll be a blip when you leave here. Before you know it. I don't want to go there right now. That's all right. Those of you guys are seniors. Yeah, you can feel it. And I was telling, it's so funny. And you don't forget those days, because I was telling Ethan about stories when I was in high school and doing theater, and all of a sudden it's like, man, now I'm like, I've 28 years at Dean, so it's like crazy. And then I think I've been 24 years at the festival. So I've done national stuff. I've traveled to different regions, and it's really sort of cool to know that there's all these different stories out there, and know that we can all tell them in our own way. And I did get to see some new theater, which I was really juked up about. Is that a good little capsule?
That was beautiful. A part of us being here for the Irene Ryan and MTSA and DTM, Design, Technology, and Management. There's also a big part of the festival is all the workshops that they put on, and that we have a chance to go to, and they're presented by a whole lot of people from across Region 1 and from across the rest of the country who are part of KCACTF. So let's go around and talk about some of the cool workshops that we all went to this week. Do we want to start with the ladies again?
Yeah. Jim had the best workshop.
No doubt.
My favorite two that I went to were definitely number one was Jim, and then followed by the lifting one. I thought that was a really fun moment. Ben made what a connection Ben made. It was fabulous. And we got to do we get to show off, and that's always like the best. Like getting to be like, hey, like look at it, haha. But that was my favorite.
Well, the only workshop I've been to was Jim's because I was in rehearsal the rest of the time. So it was wonderful. I got to beat some people up. I got to be an example. That was cool. Really liked that. But yeah, it was very swag. We got to do a whole little group fight. That was very neat, very fun.
It was
we had
badass.
People talking to us after that for so long, being like, "Y'all looked so cool. Like, can you show us more?" It was really neat.
You are.
Yeah.
You flatter us, Jim.
Yeah, so I also was only able to attend Jim's workshop, and it was, again, wonderful. I honestly...
Yeah,
we were
I
so
didn't realize how busy you guys
had
were.
all
Like, you guys had all those rehearsals.
every single day.
Opening number tonight.
Yep.
Yep.
At 6:30.
Yep, again. But I don't know. I felt like a bad bitch at Jim's workshop. You know?
She did get to
Beating
punch me
people-
twice.
Well, this morning actually, we took a trip over to the Tilden,
The Tilden.
and we had a little presentation on deploying blood packets and all of that jazz.
Blood
and
effects in theater.
Blood effects in theater, and it was so interesting how they were like using like literal medical equipment,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like waste bags for like a urine, using those like
bags.
yes, and using those as like drips for blood. It was so interesting.
Yeah.
I learned so much. Like as a person who loves Carrie the musical, I'm like, I need the blood. I need it.
Yeah.
They had a bike pump. They had
Yep.
a bike
Oh
pump.
my Yeah.
And a hydraulic pump, a CO2 pump.
Yeah.
When he had a gunshot, like to the back of the head. Like when there was like a gunshot to the back to the head, it was like.
Yeah,
It
it's
was gross. It was nasty. I love it.
it's amazing.
I wish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll show you pictures.
It looked like American Psycho because they had like plastic all over the walls and stuff, so they just sprayed stuff all over. Somebody got put in like a white like suit, and then they practiced like a stab.
Stabbing him.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
That's
They
pretty
had a
neat.
blood knife. They made a knife that had a channel in it with blood, and it squirted out. So as you stabbed them, you could see the stab marks, or you could do a cross. It was really sort of cool.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like a knife. It was just made out of a popsicle stick, some masking tape, and a plastic pipette. It was, it was beautiful.
That's the magic of theater, isn't it?
Yeah.
I also went to Jim's workshop. Wow, got the
was a-
shit kicked out of me.
It was a great stage combat workshop.
You felt like what it is to be me.
yeah.
You lost a lot.
Oh, that's
I was-
horrible.
Love losing.
I was able to kick the shit out of Jim, so that was fun. Hey, I got to punch Ben down to the ground. That felt good.
Other than that, the Chekhov one.
I was
went
gonna
to.
say you went to the Chekhov one. I didn't get to go to that one. How was it?
Something I think, even if you practice any type of technique, even if you're like, I hate everybody else's, I hate Meisner, I literally hate everything, I have my own, always just check out Chekhov just for the time when you step out of it. You can get in it any way that you possibly want, but if something happens, everything else, you need to be able, at the end of the time of your role, you need to grab all of it off your body, throw it up into the cosmos again where you got it from, and leave it there, because it should not be you. It might have been part of you, you might have taken inspiration, but it is no longer you. Get it away.
Austin Butler is not using Chekhov. He still talks in the southern twang. I read an article. TMZ said he's going like insane because he hates the way his voice sounds because he's so tired of it.
They filmed that movie for like 4 years, so he was in and out of that for 4 years.
It was supposed to be done.
I do want to say I had a southern accent for 18 years. It's not that hard to get rid of.
Oh, too bad, Austin Butler.
Yeah, so everybody said pretty much all of my favorites already. Definitely number one, Jim's stage combat workshop. It was just, I don't know, it was so good. And like the night before, we all met up and got to do like a half hour to an hour of like rehearsing this huge big fight scene that we got to show everybody at the end of the day. And like people still to this day, like when they see us in the halls, they'll come up to us and be like, "Oh my God, you were in that workshop, right? Oh my God, you guys did fantastic. It was awesome." So it's really cool to see that recognition from other people.
Strangers who can perceive us.
Yes.
Do not perceive me.
So perceivable.
Yeah.
Word. I don't like being perceived.
Also, once again, the lift, the couples dancing stuff, it was just so cool and like something new because, you know, there aren't really that many dance workshops that are going around this year. So I think that the fact that they were able to do one of those was really interesting. And it wasn't just like, oh, it's jazz or something, you know, it was like partnering couple stuff, which I think everybody can benefit from. And then definitely what Ben was saying about the Chekhov workshop. Oh my God, it's just so eye-opening. Go ahead, Ben.
I will have to say, she wanted everyone on their feet, everything. I was the only one sitting down, only taking notes the entire time. I will have to say, I also wrote this in my notes, Dean college students think.
Yes,
It was beautiful to see these three, Jessica, Katie Moran, and Noah, and Abby, just walk around and just fully immerse themselves in this workshop. It was just beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and like within the workshop, she was talking about the characters in The Wizard of Oz, and just talking about their physicalities and like what they wanted and things like that, and like, you know, how the Tin Man, like when you embody the Tin Man, he's so stiff, and like and what does the Tin Man want? The Tin Man wants a heart, and then just the way that she was able to talk about him and even embody him as soon as she started talking about him was fantastic. Like me and Katie Moran, we were standing next to each other, and our eyes were going so wide and just like, oh my God. It was really eye-opening and such a great experience to be a part of. I loved it.
Absolutely. I did get
The lead one, I was really happy about that, and I did it early in the morning because I think all the serious actors show up early in the morning.
Yeah.
That's why I always ask for early in the festival, early in the morning, because the people who want to be there will be there.
Yep.
That was a great warm-up to festival.
And these
Yeah,
guys all
absolutely.
they all, in order to participate, they all had to hang out with me the night before, and that was really fun putting that together. So, I think some of the
Oh yeah, you were with us this morning.
Things that I saw in shows that I've done a few of those things. I've done the blood packs, stuff like that. It was fun to see someone just talk to them. So I learned about where to get the blood and price. I just never thought, $56 for a gallon of blood,
Really?
or $100 for a gallon of blood, the good stuff from Harry Potter. They actually buy that, and she had that there.
Yep.
I was doing the lift thing, and Robbie was my partner at first, and then until they started really getting into it, and I was like, I didn't want to hurt myself, so I sort of backed off, and I said, all right, I'll just watch. And I was watching Gia and Ben Rocket and Noah and those guys, and Ethan and oh my God, these guys were so Haley were just like having such a good time over there on the sides. And then all of a sudden this girl came in late and she's like, oh, I just got here. Do I have a partner? And Miriam just said, oh, Jim will partner. I got to do that. And it was really interesting. I thought you guys talked about how finding, and I even found in my stage combat class that you're acting in everything, and even with the lifts. And I watched the couples who are really doing that little combination, having luck with it. We're actually making choices about who they were, what they were doing. You guys had a really
Noah and Emily too.
Oh my God, yeah. And it was nice seeing Emily doing. Oh, Emily rocked it too on that. Too. I mean, actually, and Eamon too. Shout out to Eamon.
Amen.
Eamon and Georgia seemed like they got thrown around to a bunch of different guys. And so that was really fun, and walking away with that, and it's some cool lifts, and I think always, but talking about how action and obstacles and the tactics, how you change them all, not only in, I talk about in stage combat, but also in dance. If you bring those things in there, we talk about it with singing too, you always got to want something. So I really, really enjoyed that, and getting up. And the other thing I really enjoyed seeing was seeing a couple of shows, and stuff that, not every show is your favorite show, but I did see a couple of really cool ones. Brendan Jenkins, his new play, Everybody, I thought was pretty cool and made me think. And I thought they were pretty brave, the people who did that show, and I thought they put out some good stuff. And I thought they handled it in a very tactful way. And it's nice seeing other artists do stuff. It inspired me. Yeah. So, yeah.
Personally, I really loved like the environment of the whole thing. Like just a bunch of theater kids in one building at one time is like, I was a little overwhelmed. But
the Hamilton shirts,
the Hamilton shirts, the Hamilton sweatshirts, the cast show, like the show T-shirts, like so many of those. But like something that was kind of like heartwarming to me was like, yeah, like we say theater kids, but like, Jim, you're one of the biggest theater kids we know. Yeah. You know, like there are people who are, older than us who still have that strong passion and love and appreciation for theater, which
like
I think
Disney
is really,
adults.
really cool. Yeah, like Disney adults, but like worse. Robbie, what was your workshop experience like?
Oh man, it was really cool. I also went to the Blood one this morning, and it was fantastic. I planned to buy Jen's book. Yeah. She wrote a whole book about it. So that was really cool. I also went to the intro to lifting and partnering, which was cool because I'm not a good mover, but I certainly learned more technique than anything. And then it's cool for me as a stage manager to know how someone should be lifted without getting hurt. And then I also had a really cool chance. I went to a playwriting workshop, identity in playwriting, which is something I'm getting into and really exploring. And I was able to connect with the dude who ran the workshop. His name was Benjamin, and he was really cool. And then I also went to the one-act staged readings, and the two plays that they staged were just absolutely fantastic. The names are escaping me at the moment, but I'm sure I will get them out.
They'll be famous in the next couple
of
years.
Yeah, and so that was really cool to see, people have new work be even just staged. Go to stage readings. You
are an aspiring playwright too.
Of course.
Great thing.
And so that was really cool, and I connected with one of the playwrights, and so hopefully I can, talk to him more down the line. And so that's what I did for workshops.
Tech Olympics.
So another really cool thing that KCACTF does for the design, technology, and management section is today they held a Tech Olympics, and so it was 6 different stations or like little challenges, and one of them was like coiling cable. Another one was how fast can you screw in 5 screws and screw it out. You had to focus 2 lights. You had to pick up a sandbag, run 30 feet, drop it, pick up another one, run back 30 feet. And so hopefully I win. Because we're waiting on the results. Yeah, like we had to like time it and stuff, and so they gotta look at the slips and stuff. And so that was a good time. And so I'm hoping to bring home the golden gaff. The golden gaff come home to Dean. But yeah, so I've been having a blast, just like all the rest of us.
So one thing that I wanna touch upon, because I know that like people got some things to do, but so it's not technically a competition. It is an audition. There's no
have never been compared.
no yeah definitely not. But I would like to talk to our 2 finalists and see what went on your end. So because we all did like the workshops, like we basically said the same like 5 workshops this entire time. So what was things like down east over at the Tivlin Center?
So we've been at the Cape Codder a lot. When we first got here on Tuesday, and immediately the 2 of us had to go into coachings with our accompanist to work on our songs. And then
10 minutes to get over as soon as we got back.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
So we worked on our songs, and then we had a vocal rehearsal because we're actually a part of the opening number of the final ceremony and of the final showcase that we did last night. So we have to perform that again tonight.
It was beautiful.
It was something.
It was beautiful.
Did you
I
like
loved
the
it.
birds?
The birds were great. I love the birds.
Choreography. But we got to do like staging rehearsals. We got to choreograph some stuff, do some fun entrances, sing little solos, and then last night we got to perform at the Tilden Center on the stage. It was really, really neat to perform in a theater again.
Crushed it.
Beautiful stage, gorgeous piano, and it was very stressful but very worth it.
Yeah, it was such a good experience, and the really fun part about it is that at the end of the week, which now what day is it today? Saturday.
It's the end of the week.
Yeah, it's the end of the week basically. Everyone like we made so many connections with everyone, and just everyone showed up with such a kind and open heart, and it was just really nice meeting a lot of people that are very passionate about the same things that we are. And I wish the best to whoever gets it, if it's Trish, if it's anyone in this room, or like anyone, whoever, because everyone truly deserved to be up on that stage and deserved the recognition for that award.
The talent here is unbelievable.
Unbelievable, yeah.
We don't know the results as of right now, but when this episode comes out, we will know the results. So if you're listening to this episode after this, congratulations. But yeah, so you guys performed 2 songs each last night. By the way, beautiful job, both of you. No skips, not a single skip. In regards to like your process for that, like your rehearsal process with your accompanist, was it like a really audition style, or was it kind of like low key, like kind of laid back?
Funny story, I actually switched accompanists yesterday. That was fun. They told me that I couldn't do it with her anymore, personal problems, and had to switch my accompanist, which meant that I had to get an extra rehearsal in. And my song ended up being just a bit over tempo, but that's fine. Made it work.
You still killed it though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You made it work.
Damn it! I lost my train of thought. What was the question?
Your process,
Your process. Like.
Oh, the process. Yeah, it was really interesting because I came in having like coached with Allie and everything, and I came with a lot of like ideas, and had to get coached with Elijah. Amazing man! Oh my goodness, so freaking talented. And he changed my perspectives on my songs a little bit, and I kind of had to work through that week saying, oh, do I want to add implement what he taught me into what I'm doing, or how do I make it my own? How do I, not disrespect him by not adding completely, thinking of all the notes that he gave me on stage. So that was really stressful, trying to figure everything out. But it was just a lovely experience. Everyone's songs were great, but do you have anything to say?
I got to work with my accompanist. She was so slay. Her name is Kathleen. I love her. Crazy, crazy talented. both her and Catherine, the two accompanists that played
Oh
at
my
finals,
gosh.
both insanely talented.
Incredible.
Big shout out to both the accompanists. The last night they're both. I got to hang out with them in the witch session. So we had a really good session. We're just talking to them about you guys. They love you guys, just so you know that.
I love that. I love them.
That's so good to
They're the
hear.
absolute
I felt so
sweetest.
bad last night because apparently after my second song, I came off stage, hugged Karen, the chair of the MTSA program, and then my accompanist looked at me and she was crying. She was like, "You got me that time." I'm like, "No, I'm so sorry, Kathleen." I felt so bad. But it was just really nice being able to work with somebody who also is as artistically driven as I am, and just being able to spit out different ideas and get feedback and whatnot, and having that individual time was really nice.
It was interesting watching the process too for me, because I've come to the festival, I've come in so many different hats. Sometimes when you're chair, you're just like you're the administrative part you're really caught up in. I've come with sometimes where I watch all of the Irene Ryan stuff. This was the first time I come that I was able just to sit and watch. I watched both the preliminary rounds for MTIs. I got to watch the finals and watching the process and what I see, and it's like you were saying, Victoria. I think there's a large amount of talent up on that stage, but choices, so many different choices, and I really love watching the arc of the songs, particularly for you guys. I really enjoyed that, but it was really nice to see which ones did and which ones didn't do that, or there was a lot of. Similar to the Irene Ryans, there were a lot of times I saw someone, I loved their song, and all of a sudden their shortcut was like, "Oh, why did you do that? That didn't help you." Or, or the other thing, they do the song is like okay, and all of a sudden their short piece is like, "Oh my God, that should have been your main piece. That was really good." But that's one thing we learned from watching the other folks work and perform, and it was really cool to really watch this process with a real eye towards that, which I enjoyed. So it's like it was crazy. It's and because of not doing the Irene Ryan stuff as much, I was able to focus on other stuff and hang out with different actors, different places from different times, but also to get to do those workshops, which was really sort of fun. So as a faculty member, it was really sort of cool to watch. And I even got the I saw you focusing those lights on.
Yes.
I think
That
the
was a good
most
time.
interesting part to me about the most learning experience that we got was going from prelims to finals, because the spaces were completely different. We had prelims in a tiny little ballroom, and it was very intimate. We were on the floor with the audience, and then we moved from that to a theater with a mezzanine and everything, and
No
we
mics.
had to be able we had to be able to control our volume while also keeping the same levels we had been doing, and find the evenness between our acting, making it big enough but not too big.
Right.
So that was definitely
Like
a challenge.
keeping it intimate and vulnerable, but also playing to the back of the theater.
Right.
That's
Right.
the hard thing to manage.
In our response, that was the main response that most people got, was that they either didn't play to the back of the theater or they got compliments that they did.
Yeah.
Got you.
So.
Well, cool. It's been great hearing about the MTSA part of this competition. And ladies, you got this. Truly.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. And we have a new guest who just came in. She might be busy at the moment, but Emily Goyette, who was nominated for... Yeah, there's
Emily! Please come join.
Emily was nominated for directing and dramaturgy for the Kennedy Center, and we actually just got back from seeing her scene, which starred Ben, Trisha, Victoria, and Gia. It was amazing, as usual. It was beautiful. I had seen it a couple of times, but Emmy, if you want to give any input on your side of things in regards to directing and dramaturgy.
At least for dramaturgy, I am a big old history buff, so getting to do the importance of being earnest and talk about, wars, that was but also a good thing with Ernest was, the whole courting season and what's appropriate and not appropriate, and how Oscar Wilde said, F that, I'm going to do what I want. And then obviously transitioning it from the Victorian era to the 1920s, which makes so much sense when you sit down for 5 seconds and you think about it. It allows for much more storytelling to take place in regards to social dynamics, especially between Lady Bracknell and Gwendolyn, because, old versus new, women finally having power, mom saying no, no. And directing, easy peasy because I had the best 4 actors I could ask for. So, I loved the scene that I directed, and I just hope they liked it.
We did.
Well,
Yay, absolutely.
so yeah, I couldn't. I made the art I wanted to make, and what else can you ask for?
I loved being with Emily next to during the MTIs. We would constantly just lean into each other and say, "All right, that piece. Why'd they pick that piece?" and Emily would go, "Yeah, why?" and then we'd just say, and there were a few of them we were able to say, that was better than the prelims. They really
yes, we did say that,
up, and that was really nice. So, but it was really nice having a cohort sort of there as you guys shift from that student to colleague kind of level. So.
Oh, that's scary. That happens in 3 months.
Yeah.
Less than 100 days.
Oh, okay, and that is my cue to leave.
Let's not remind the seniors.
Robbie, do you want to talk about the stage management sections?
Yeah, of course. So I was very lucky to be nominated for my stage management work on a little ditty called Clybourne Park that we did a year ago. So it was a little weird for me to put myself back in that headspace because, like I said, it was a year ago. But I was able to dig up my stage manager book, my script, my prompt book, and I brought it. And on the first day we got here, I dropped it off in a expo hall, where from then my respondents were able to look at it, look at my materials. I sent in a introduction video before we left the school. My respondents looked at that, and then we had 2 rounds of response. The first round of response was a roundtable session with one of the respondents. My respondent's name was Mallory. She's from Region 6, and she was very... Texas, I believe? Yeah, somewhere in Texas. Texas. And she was really cool to talk to. And she just gave a little bit of asked questions about the play and what it was like to work through it, and I was able to explain a lot of the process me and the director went through, and how we worked together and what we did for our cast. And I got to talk about how I work as a stage manager, and also my favorite part of it was seeing all the other stage managers' books and how they do it. And I took a few pictures of things that I would like to incorporate into my work and to better myself as a stage manager. Unfortunately, I was not selected to move on to round 2 of response, but luckily that does not eliminate me from any chance of award or nomination. So head held high, fingers crossed, and again, I'm hoping, chin up, hoping to bring home the Golden Gaff.
Yeah. Woo! I like that term, Golden Gaff.
Yeah, that's the award. That's the
That's
award
the
for
award?
Tech Olympics.
Oh, yes, I knew that, but I didn't know. So, can we just buy Gold Gaff? Because that just sounds like a cool concept.
We'll give out Dean College specific awards.
Just black gaff, spray painted gold.
Yeah.
Probably. But it'll still be great.
So unfortunately, we did not. Those of us who were in Irene Ryan's, we did not move on as well. It is. You know what? It is what it is. You know.
Yeah.
In regards to the showcase that we did the night before we left, I thought that was really, really cool. It was really cool to see the pieces.
I have never been more proud to be a dean student than walking out of that showcase that we did. And coming here and just being in our own circle. I was like, wow, we got it.
It was a great send off. It was exactly what we needed, and all of your pieces were absolutely fucking fantastic. And Gia, I'm never gonna get over your scene with Pat and Noah, your scene with Trisha. It's too good. It's too good. But it's a great experience. And honestly, I think it was Jim who actually told me this freshman year. Just get the nomination.
Yeah.
It's okay to not move on to semis. It's okay not to move on to finals. It's okay not to win. As long as you proved yourself and you worked hard and you got an alternate position, you got a the primary position or whatever you want to call it, everybody puts in their work, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, and I'll say, we said this is like the ultimate study in subjectivity,
right?
And they're all valid, and whatever you like, and whatever you don't like, you don't like. Those are all good. But knowing as an artist, be able to stand back and say, she's not going to like what I do, and it's okay.
That's fine.
I'm okay with that. That I can move on and do other stuff. So I think it's really cool as an artist in every realm. So
yeah, in that same breath, it's like we all deserve to be here. Everyone who is here deserves to be here because somebody thought that they were special. Somebody.
I can't imagine a more perfect group of people to be with right now.
That's what I mean, and like not just us, but also like everybody, who's out in the hallway, like they thought somebody on their side of things saw potential in them, and I completely and utterly respect that. Yeah, it's an absolute honor to be here.
Much talented and hardworking people in this room right here.
Yeah, it's like the passion. That's what gets me is like we're all passionate and we all want to be here and we all want to do this crazy craft we call theater, and we all want to subject ourselves to those two masks and the comedy and the tragedy mask. We're gonna sell our souls to them. But
I had a full moment last night right before the opening number. I'm literally standing in the stairwell next to the audience and I just go, this is my career. And I just had a whole 2-minute, not breakdown, but just what am I doing?
Yeah.
How did I get here?
Imposter syndrome is the worst. It is the worst. And you almost don't want to. You want to be proud of yourself, but you don't want to be cocky, and you don't want to jinx yourself, and you the amount of times I knocked on wood just to, on the bus ride here, just getting here, I was just oh God.
After what we saw, cocky's not the word. Just be confident.
Yeah.
In everything, because
yeah, I mean it's tough.
I feel like being in this field, it's important to be confident, but also it sucks that one is so critical of ourselves. I'm so critical of myself, and I went up on that stage last night, and the first thing I said getting off that, I was like, that was the worst performance I've ever done in my life.
I threatened to punch her in the face after.
She did. You did. I would have done it.
Yeah.
If I was there.
Before she even got the words out, where she looked at me, she was like, and I go, I'm gonna punch her in the face if you say anything negative right now, and she still did. So.
Luckily, we're here.
Two aggressive bitches next to each other. I ain't scared of you.
Wait, aren't you guys rooming together?
Oh boy. And they were roommates.
Help!
I do think that while we're talking regards to the Irene Ryan stuff, me and Jim were talking about this. The prelims when it comes to the Irene Ryans, how they should be in person.
Yeah.
Because everybody who gets nominated, they get to, they're supposed to get to come here and they're supposed to get to perform, for the prelims and moving forward, whatever, right? So the fact that we had to send in the prelims and then, and then we come here and then we immediately basically find out who goes on to what. And then the fact that we don't get to, show them at least in person what we've done.
And tapes are they can't even compare.
Right. And to me, I've been doing this, like I said, 20-something years. And one of my favorite moments is the first couple hours of festival. Yeah. When these people go into the room, some people are really bad. Yeah. And some people are really.
Way to tell it like it is.
But some people are really good.
Yeah.
And you learn from both of those. You go in and you look at that audition and you say, "Oh, there was no coaching there. They're freshmen. They're doing it for the first time. They don't know any better."
So right.
There's so many different things that you can learn from that. And I pray that they bring the first round back, only because it is one day of intense. We're 400 people who get to perform, 200 people in their partners. Then you add onto that all of the rest of us who just like to go in that room and sit and take notes and steal stuff and learn stuff. And you also, I think I was talking to Ben the other day, we were talking about how some people like comedy, some people like drama, some people like, and it's that's okay. And some people only women in that room. Some people only men women in that room. Some it's just only women and men couples. So you're just like to experience that and to be in that room and say, all right, I didn't pick that person who won, but someone else obviously thought something was really cool. So I think that's that's a crucial part that I would love to see come back to the festival, because you guys, and you saw it, you guys, because the send-off was that. You guys got to flex your muscles, and we got to see you have some fun down there in front. And I missed not being able to see all of your monologues. I mean, all of them. And when you initially, I would have loved. That would have been a nice night to do the taping and then do the live thing. It's like, so we basically saw round 3.
On the first day that they would usually do that, was it both monologues in the scene, or
That changed so much over the years, but I can tell you, in my time, it started off as 2 scenes. Shifted from 2 scenes to a monologue in a scene, which I personally, that's my favorite, as I do think you need to you have to say, I can work with a partner, and that's what the scene does. And the monologue is, I can talk and act and tell a story by myself. So that's what I want. I would love to see it to go. In my opinion, it should go monologue, scene, and if you want to do a second round, I don't care if you do a second round with monologue. But then go monologue, scene, monologue, or whatever way you want to put it together. So if anybody in the theater world is hearing me, bring back the first round of the Irene Ryans.
put Jim on, let him cook?
Yeah, get Jim back on the board.
I kind of just want to give a shout out real quick to our new president, Kenneth Elmore.
Yeah.
Because he actually, and so did our chancellor.
The new chancellor.
They actually came to our send-off.
That was really cool.
And I don't...
That was great of them.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
We were in
Like
a new
it
era.
really...
It's really cool. I mean, we had great support in the past, but man, he's super cool. He is super cool, and so is Ed, our chancellor. They want us to do well. Of course, they want us to do well. We all want us to do well.
Yeah.
It's like,
And they love the arts, which is something that I love too. They're so passionate about the arts.
Yeah.
I had tea with Ken, and he was talking about how he snuck into Ultra Cup a couple
Yeah.
not once, twice, but 3 times.
3 times.
Mind you, we were sold out. What was he supposed to do?
Yeah.
Stood there. Yeah.
my first impression of the president was I was doing a fight shop workshop with new students, and he showed up, and then he joined the fight shop.
Going back to the Irene Ryans really quick, I said this to Jim after my prelim scene had performed, and it's something that I kind of keep in my mind because I've been competing for a few years, started out with the METG, and now I'm here. And with live theater, it's so important to remember that people's comments are from that performance that day with that set of people, with those conditions under it. And
that temperature,
that as it's -5 degrees, and it's also with that set of respondents.
Yeah.
I think that's huge for any person competing in anything to remember. We're human beings and we all mess up. And I think with this industry, you have to remember it's okay to be human. I said it multiple times to my actors for this scene that we were doing, that if you mess up a line, it's fine, you're human. And I would much rather see you mess up a line on stage than sit there frozen.
Yep. Hey, and I think don't give anybody, because it's all limited respondents that you've had in your life, even up to this point. You can't give any one person that much power. You need to keep the power for yourself. So if someone doesn't like something you do, that's okay. That's it. They can't. They're not going to tell you what you're doing the rest of your life, and they're not going to go with you. So keep the power for yourself.
Obviously, it's important to like receive feedback and everything, but no one should ever validate you. You should find complete validation within yourself, and I feel like in this industry you can't compare yourself to anyone else because you have your own strengths and weaknesses that other people don't. And it's so hard. Yeah, it's so hard to understand that, and I struggle with it, so I'm probably sounding like a hypocrite right now.
But we all do it.
We all do it. Yeah. And you have to seek your own validation.
Exactly.
You say, okay, someone didn't like what I did. I am enough. I liked it, and that is all that matters. Because at the end of the day, it's your business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Thank you, everybody, for being here. As we wrap it up, we would like to recognize all of us who are here, not just all of us who are in the room.
Because there are more of us.
Yes.
They're just not currently in the room.
Yeah, they're in other workshops or doing other things. But first, I would like to recognize my fellow stage managers that came with me, Lucy and George.
And Lucy, who moved on.
Yes,
Lucy moved on.
Lucy.
And Robbie for stage management as well.
Thank you.
And then the Irene Ryans, my familia. We have Gia, Noah, Ben, myself, Derek, Abby, Jessica, Katie, Haley, and Eamon.
Yeah. Woo, 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 woo. And of course, our people with the most beautiful voices, Trisha and Victoria, and along with our best buddy, Patrick McKinney.
Yeah. And then finally, last but certainly not least,
in her own special category, Miss Emily for directing and dramaturgy.
I'd just like to say thank you all for being here.
Yes.
This has been quite an experience the past 4 days, and I can't wait for the rest of the weekend. I hope you guys have had a good time being on Shooting the Shit. I hope to see these faces back in Horn 302 back when we're recording. But thank you guys so much. This is Beefy.
And this is Bobbie.
And this is Shooting the Shit with Beefy and Bobbie.
Yeah.